Patricia, really, thank you very much. I'm delighted. Such a pleasure, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, to be with you here today. I'm based in Geneva, where our headquarters is, the headquarters of the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. Few words about our division. So, our division supports the intergovernmental machinery of the United Nations and also empowers multilateralism. And we do that by working hand in hand with the United Nations member states and also the secretariats of the UN governing bodies. And we also cherish developing synergies with academia, like this program that we have put together. Now we are extremely excited to be here and to be with such distinguished panelists and participants. And this summer program aims to triangulate education, research, and leadership in the field of science, diplomacy, and technology. Basically, this is, the main motto behind this initiative. And it will provide a platform that builds upon common interest across our globally interconnected civilization. Now, before I share with you the vision and elaborate further on the vision and why we believe this program is of utmost importance for us in the United Nations, please let me start also by reiterating the thanks for the partners. So the program has been initiated by the Science Diplomacy Center and is run in collaboration with the Program on Negotiation at Harvard Law School, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, University of Massachusetts, Boston, Boston University, the Science Diplomacy Center, and Swissnex, Boston. So we are delighted with this partnership, and we are aiming at building further. Now, we would like to thank you all for all our partners for sharing their support, ideals, and common objectives. I mean, this could, as Paul mentioned, this wasn't done by coincidence. It was done by including a lot of partners and a huge effort that was done by all of these partners. Now, and Paul, by the way, this is for the participants among you. Professor Paul is beyond a deep friend of the United Nations. He is a source of inspiration. He was the guiding spirit behind that connected all of us in a very smooth way. And I kindly invite you all during these 10 days together to get to know him better and also challenge him and get the best out of him. Now, a special thanks also goes to the state of North Rhine-Westphalia from Germany, whose support has provided the funding for the participation of some of our participants from LDCs. Now, their support has allowed us to fulfill what we believe and what we preach here in the United Nations. We always speak about the SDGs as an attempt to reach out to the furthest first and leaving no one behind. So leaving no one behind is also including and integrating people, like Paul said at the beginning, inclusivity in this program. So what are the vision and the values that we are anchoring by launching this program? Allow me first to give you an example that's relevant to the world we are living in right now here in Europe. So in Europe, as you know, we are all enjoying a quasi-return to normality. And every night, for those of us who appreciate football, football lovers are watching the Euro Cup on television with a lot of football matches between European nations. Now, in sports, and especially in football, the worst that could happen to the players and also to the spectators is to end up with a tie between the two teams that are competing together. Why is that? Because the primitive parts of our brains are wired in such a way that push us not to appreciate a game without goals or without winners and losers. So the goal, the ultimate goal of a football game is to win. Now, at the international level, we have the Sustainable Development Goals, which have nothing to do with football. And we still have 9 years to achieve them with less resources due to COVID, who eliminated and burned around 12 to 20 trillion US dollars from the world economy. Now, we at UNITAR, we were involved in the beginning initially in developing the post-2015 agenda along with the member states. We supported member states' negotiations leading to the adoption of Agenda 2030, the SDGs. So, however, we are also conscious that on 1st January 2031, we are not going to wake up and realize that we are in heaven and we have all achieved the SDGs. We are aware that it's a process, and I see here that Paul has mentioned, welcome to all, we are on a journey together. So we perceive our engagement not as a football game, but as a journey together, as a process. So goals are important to give us discipline, and they help us measure, as we all know. But more importantly, they give us vision of where we want to be and how we will get there. So they also provide us with an opportunity to anchor the values of global governance that operate, as Professor Berkman said, on a global infinite scale. So achieving the SDGs requires a change in our competitive mindset, the same mindset that we use when we watch football at the television. The issue is not one of winning or losing. It's a question of process that aims at enhancing the qualities of our lives. This is how we perceive it, at least from our perspective. So this program is meant to shed light on the relationship between theory practice of science diplomacy, to support efficient decision making for science diplomats, and to foster multilateralism through science. So before handing back the floor, I just want to also mention something extremely important. Among us, there is a person called Sami Rodriguez. Sami is an artist and a caricaturist. He is meant to provide us with a human touch, to provide us with a caricature, with a family picture drawn with his own hands at the end of this meeting together, at the end of the 10 days. So the idea is to humanize online interactions and online learning, because we are spending our time in front of our laptops disconnected from each other. And Sami will help us bring us back this human touch and bring us back together in an artistic fashion. So thank you for being with us, Sami. And I hand you back the floor. Thank you all.